Hey folks, welcome to another episode of Grounds After Rounds. We got a special treat for you. Coach Ellie, the newest coach with the Beasts, sat down with two longtime Beast athletes and decided to explore kind of what is going on in the world and how that's impacting them and their time in the gym and time outside the gym. It's a different look, maybe a couple different faces, a couple different voices, and a different perspective on how everything's going down. Really, it was just because Eric and I were too lazy to get our act together and get something recorded. But we'll be back at you next time, and be on the lookout, because if y'all like this, you may be in store for a whole new podcast under the Two Bros Media Company. That's not a thing, but a new podcast that Ellie is working on, and will be releasing soon. So enjoy your crossover episode here at Grounds After Rounds. And without further ado, here is Ellie and her guests.
Okay, I think we're recording. Cool. So, welcome to a very special episode of Grounds After Rounds, the official podcast of Fairwinds CrossFit. You might notice that I am not Coach Jack or Coach Eric, and that they're nowhere here on the screen. I'm Coach Ellie. I coach the Beasts class at Fairwinds, which is the teens class. If you don't know, I'm a two-time guest of Grounds After Rounds, but first-time host. So we have two of our beasts here today, Anna and Julia. I'm gonna let them introduce themselves here in a second. So we thought we'd do a special episode while we're all kind of on different levels of lockdown with the beasts, and kind of get their perspective on this whole Corona situation, but also give you guys a chance to get to know them and get to know a little bit more about our beasts program. So thanks for coming on, ladies. Anna, do you want to introduce yourself first, just because you're on the first one I see on my screen, so I thought you could go first.
My name is Anna, and my mom started doing Fairwinds like about 2 years ago, I think. And so I started doing the Beasts in August of 2018. And yeah, I started like the summer before going in my sophomore year, and then I did it all through sophomore year. And then in the winter of 2018, I saw the Annapolis Junior Rowing people come and do their training there. And so I like got to learn more about that. And then last summer I started rowing with them. So now I do rowing, and I did Beast all winter to train for them, and I'm a junior in high school.
Cool. Awesome. Julia?
I'm a senior in high school. I started CrossFit I think February of 2019. So I've been doing it for like a year. And I love it. My brother introduced me to it, and now I go more than him. So
yeah, you do. You definitely do.
Yeah, so I mean, that's me.
Cool. Did you did you guys, either one of you, do any like team sports or anything before starting at Fairwinds? Because I feel like you guys have kind of a good perspective, because I think a lot of people hear about Beasts and they think that it's all people that are training in like their off season for their sport, but both of you came to Fairwinds like not doing that, from what I know, which I think is really cool. I mean, it's my favorite thing about the program, is that there's so many of you that have that route. But did you do any sports at all growing like up before that, or no?
Yeah, I've done unified bocce since my freshman year, but that doesn't really include workouts, so or any athletic ability, because it's just bocce with the special ed kids, and it's really cool. Like it's a lot of like service element and getting along with people and communication, and like how to communicate with different people with different disabilities, and like it's really cool. But we didn't involve workouts or anything, so I came to Fairwinds without having like a sport, I guess, because I haven't played soccer since 4th grade.
Same, probably. Or soccer. I mean, I grew up sailing and did sailing in college, but I like stopped doing land sports like a long time ago, and I played soccer like once. So Anna, what about you? You ended up joining rowing, kind of.
Yeah,
people you met through Fairwinds, but
I've done summer swimming since I was like an elementary schooler, but that's not, I mean, it's really casual, so I wouldn't consider myself like an athlete before I started joining CrossFit.
That's cool. So I've only been with, I mean, you guys know this, but people listening or watching might not. I've only been coaching Beasts, I mean, officially since the beginning of March, but I started interning in December. And I feel like I've gotten to know you guys really quickly. You guys feel like some of the regulars and are really, I love working with you guys. You guys are great. But what are kind of some of your favorite things about Beast, or what are some things that like you feel like have maybe shifted or changed since I started coaching? Like, just to get talking about that.
I think I love Eric's coaching style a lot. Like, I love how like fun and like relaxed it is. But I think my favorite part about you joining is like the writing up of the workouts and like the schedule and the board, the chalkboard now, and all our maxes. I like having everything like organized. I like that. I like visualizing it too.
So funny.
So I like Eric's like, we're all just standing there at the bikes talking, and then Ellie's just in the back, and she's like, okay, it's like 4:15, we have to start doing everything now.
Oh my gosh, that's
No,
awesome.
I like how laid back it is. Like I like Eric's teaching style and like coaching style.
This was not meant to be like a tell me everything you hate about Eric. And as I phrased that question, I realized that it sounded like I was like, tell me all the things you love about me. But it was not the intention of that question.
No, I don't know. I like how laid back it is, like the Sunday thing, and like how open you are to new ideas. And I don't know. I really enjoy that.
I think you guys work together really, really well. I like. Yeah.
What would you say, do you think like makes Beasts different than the sports that you've done in the past, or like different than the way that you like approach rowing, Anna, or bocce, Julia?
It's not competitive at all, which is like really nice, because like, I mean, I know certain people are competitive. I'm a little competitive, but like, it's not like we're like competing against each other. We all want each other to get better, and there's like no reward for like bringing each other down. Like, it's just a community, which I really like.
Yeah, and in sports like bocce, it's a lot of people just like not clicking up, but staying in their groups and like with certain people. And I feel like with Beasts, we can be with anyone.
Yeah, I think it's really cool too. Like, just watching you guys. I mean, first of all, I'm so jealous that I didn't have this experience in high school. Like, I joke, but I kind of mean it. Like, I feel like I would be a totally different person if I had that. And I think it's really awesome. Like, I've obviously, like I said, like been involved in high school sailing and college sailing as an athlete, but then also coaching high school sailing a little bit now. And I feel like the biggest difference that I see is like you guys, when you show up for Beasts, like you are excited to be there, like to different levels. Like, I mean, Anna, like both of you guys have showed up different days, been like tired or whatever, but like you're there because you want to be there, which makes our lives so much easier. Like compared to coaching other sports or teams where like, you know, you have kids that they're showing up because they have to at a certain point.
Yeah.
And, you know, even though they love the sport, like, and I'm sure you feel like this with rowing sometimes too, Anna, like you love rowing, but there's days that you show up that you're like, I do not want to be here. Like this is not what I want to do today. I have a test or I have whatever. And like, I think the great thing about Beast is that you guys get to have that freedom of like, if you're having a really bad day and you don't want to be there, you don't have to come and you're not in trouble. Like, or if you have a ton of homework, you don't have to come, you're not in trouble. Like it's a way to be fit and have a team like environment and have everyone support each other and get all the benefits of like a team sport without any of the consequences, which either acts as a nice complement to like team sports or as a supplement for people that aren't on team sports. So it's been really cool. I like watching that aspect of you guys, and you guys definitely do a great job of supporting each other and community and all that good stuff.
I think like you brought back to like we don't have to be there, but like a couple months ago I was like having like one of the worst days ever, like, and I still went, and it like I like was like just did not want to be there, but by the end like it made me feel so much better. And I remember we were doing a running workout, and I just like
talking about, yeah,
I just kept running. Like all I wanted to do was like keep running, and just like it helped so much because I could just focus on the workout instead of like thinking about what else was going on. It just helped so much. Like I loved being there. I would have like been so like it was just such a way to like focus on like something completely different.
Yeah, I do the same thing. Like I have had like my fair share of bad days. So like a few of them I've gone to CrossFit and like gotten my anger out and stuff like that. And it's really helpful because on days that I go twice a week, but days that I don't go, I take naps and I don't get anything done. So I feel like days that I go to the gym, I'm more productive in general and I feel better about myself.
That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like it's really cool too to watch you guys. Like, I know what day you're talking about, Anna, and like learn those skills kind of early on, because like that's something that I picked up like later in college and definitely in the past couple of years of like using workout as like a good way to get out of my head, or like if I'm really worked up or stressed out about something, just like going to the gym, or if that's not available, like going on a run or going on a walk or something. And like that's a skill that like I wish I had in high school, because you know high school is really stressful, and I think it's even more stressful for you guys, like, which you're not that much younger than me. Like I graduated high school like 6 years ago, and I feel like it's gotten even more stressful for you guys since then. And like to have these skills of like, and this place to come and like decompress and like process emotions and stressful things in like a healthy way is like really awesome. I think you guys are gonna be like really good adults because like you already have such good coping skills for stressful things and bad days. So
It feels like it's like different too. Like if I were just to go on a run by myself, like I mean I guess it would like help, but because there was like, because you and Eric were there and just so like supportive, and it felt like you just have everyone behind you, that it like makes it like 10 times better.
Yeah, that, and they're making you do stuff. So like if I were to do it on my own, I'd be like, 5 more and then I'll stop.
Yeah.
But with you guys, it'd be like 10 more. 10. You can do
Yeah.
it.
And I've been thinking about that, and this is kind of a good transition, a lot this week with myself of like, if we weren't doing the Zoom call workouts, like I would not do these workouts at home.
Oh
right now.
yeah.
Like, or I would start them and I'd be like, okay, that's good. Like,
Yeah.
that's enough. But like, even just like having, whether or not, I think that we're still doing a pretty good job coaching through the Zoom calls personally. And I think that I've been getting good coaching for the classes that I've been in too, but like, it isn't the same as being in the gym, but it's enough that's getting me doing something, which is I think extra important right now, with us all not knowing how long we're gonna be in this situation, which is a good.
I think to bring light to it, I think a really funny part about the Zoom calls is that if you don't like pin a certain person for the call, it bounces between whoever makes the last sound. So you guys will be showing us a move, and I'll be looking at like the Ryans or Anna, and I don't know what's going on. So, and I can't like get up and change it because I'm stretching or something. So like I just kind of do whatever I think we're doing.
Yeah.
It's funny. Oh my god.
And then
we tried to like fix that by like muting all you guys the other day on whatever day it was that I coached, Wednesday. And
yeah, that worked.
But then at the same time, for me, I felt like I was just like talking into a black hole. Like I was like saying things and there was like no feedback. There was no like funny commentary on the side. And then like I think the Ryans were like talking amongst themselves, but they were muted, so I couldn't really hear them, and I wasn't sure if they were paying attention. And like we're definitely figuring it out. I feel like by the end of this past week, we kind of got in a groove, and I feel like by early next week we'll be all like, we know what we're doing, and it'll feel like normal and all that good stuff.
Yeah, I tried to go every day this week.
Yeah, I think you did.
I think I did. Yeah, I think I went 4 times and then did the one you posted on the account on a Friday.
Yesterday, whatever. Yeah. I don't know what day it is. Today I know it's Saturday, but like yesterday I was like, what day is it? Like, what's happening? I was like fully ready to go for Beasts at 4 yesterday, and like texted Eric, and he was like, it's Friday? And I was like, oh, whoops, like my bad. I was like, where are you? Like, are we talking before? Like, what's up? But yeah, I think that's a good transition of like, we also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about this whole like, I don't know what we're calling it, like coronavirus lockdown,
Coronacation.
Lockdown, coronacation. Okay, that's a good positive spin on it.
My mom called it Coronageddon. So
Coronageddon. Okay.
Julia, are you allowed to see friends, or are you on complete like lockdown?
I'm on complete quarantine lockdown. I'm allowed to see my neighbors, but they've been getting on my nerves lately. So I like went on a bike ride with them, and like we hung out, watched movies, but I don't know. I'm trying to hang out with them, but that's everyone I can see. So like I've been going to the park and doing workouts and stuff, but I'm struggling.
What about
Are you allowed to see people?
Yeah.
Well, so when it started, when was this? Like when we started not having school, what was it, last
Really
week?
like last weekend. Like it's kind of been like, I've been saying like this is the weekday. Like last Saturday, I had personally started being like, all right, we're like social distancing, we're like locking down. But on Saturday, I went out to lunch, I think.
Yeah, I went out to dinner with my friends on Saturday, and then Sunday, I think we tried to do something, and like half of them were like, I can't. And then like this week, I've been hanging out with the same friend because she's also allowed to do stuff. So she's been here a lot. But no, my mom doesn't really like care that much, I guess. I mean, like, not in a bad way, but she just doesn't really, she's not like you can't leave, because a lot of my friends just can't leave their houses. But
Mhm.
I watched all the I babysat for like 2 hours yesterday. Like, there's like 5 kids in the like a court of my neighborhood while they just played outside. I just kind of watched them because their parents were all trying to work. So
Yeah.
I just sat out there while they played outside, and I babysat on Tuesday, and I went to work on Monday. So yeah,
They let you go to work, huh?
yeah.
Crazy.
That was the last day
Yeah.
of work though. So
Oh.
And then, so school got canceled like, no, it was Thursday because we were
Yeah.
at Beast when they announced it. I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
were there,
oh, I wasn't
I
there.
wasn't there.
but they announced it like Hogan announced it during Beast because
Oh,
we
Lily told me
finished-
about this.
Yeah, we finished and Soph saw it on her phone and we were like, oh, whoa, okay. And then on Saturday or Sunday was when we announced the gym was going to be closed, I think.
I think
don't
it
know
was
what day
Saturday.
Yeah, it was one of those. Yeah, I think it was like Saturday night they emailed, and then Sundays when we
I was
announced
supposed
like the Zoom thing.
I was supposed to go. I was on a overnight field trip from supposed to be Thursday to Saturday for a school club, and like we've been planning this for like months. And it was like $400, and it was in Baltimore, and we were like still so shocked that we were going because it was a giant conference, and like they've been canceling stuff like that for a while. And then on Wednesday night they told us that it was 2-day field trips now, and we were all kind of disappointed, but like we were like, okay, well, it's still happening. And then on Thursday in the middle of the day they shut down the entire conference, and we're like, everyone has to go home. And then that's when we found out about school too. So it felt like everything went from like 0 to 100 in like a second.
Yeah, that happened to me too. Like I was sitting there and I was having like a mental breakdown because I was like, school is closing for 2 weeks. What am I going to do? And I think I was so shocked that like something so big and so like far away from me was directly affecting me.
Yeah.
And like I was like freaking out, and then I was like, okay, it's just 2 weeks, I'm fine. And then in the period of 24 hours I was like, we're not gonna have school, like everything's done.
Yeah. Especially like as a senior, like I feel like everything picked up really quickly on Thursday, but I just have heard like from you guys and different things, and then like just hearing like a couple of my mom's friends still have kids in high school that are seniors, and like how quickly like things started to get canceled. And like, you know, even on like last Thursday, Soph was like, well, my year is done, and she's a senior too. She's like, I guess our year is done. And like, I mean, we don't know that for sure yet, right? Like it's 2 weeks still, like there hasn't been any official word, but like I mean, most likely, like, you know, colleges, like my brother's a senior in college, his graduation's canceled. Like he's done with that. Like that's not happening. And like, I feel like, you know, and this is why I thought it'd be cool to talk to you guys, or not cool, but relevant, is like, I think that it's really easy, especially for parents, but myself included, like to underestimate how much of an impact this is having on you guys. And like, you know, I was even reflecting on like Julia the other day, like Eric and I were talking to you about prom, and you were like, I don't think I'm gonna have prom. And Eric and I's first reaction was to be like, it wasn't that exciting. Like it was, you're fine. Like it wasn't a big deal. And like, I stand by the statement, like it wasn't that exciting. It wasn't like the best night of my life. Like it was fine, but like that's still an experience that we got to have, and you guys just don't get to have that. It's not you deciding I'm not going to go. It's like you're getting all these experiences like taken away from you. And like how, I guess, like, so not to get like sad and morbid, but like how are you like feeling about that? Or like what is something that you wish that like kind of adults, whether that's what I say is like adults like me or like real adults like parents, like what are they like, what do you kind of wish that like people knew about this and kind of the perspective of like a senior?
Well, I don't want to say like I'm different from other people, but like I've been no, like this year I've been presented with a lot of opportunities for leadership and stuff. So I've been planning a conference in September for April 25th. It's supposed to have over 100 people. I've been planning a field trip for this month that's canceled. This conference is canceled. I was planning a fundraiser for that field trip that's canceled. And I was just planning a bunch of like other stuff and things. And like, I was supposed to go to this like Vital Voices Awards conference in DC with like a bunch of famous people, and that's canceled. So like, I feel like everything that I was leading up to for this year fell apart. and like graduation is probably down the drain, so is prom. Like just my last days in high school, like I probably already had my last day in high school, and that kind of sucks to think about, because I can't see my friends every day, and like my senior year was cut short. I was the captain of the bocce team this year, because I've played for 4 years, and there are 5 captains this year, which is like crazy, but they had 5 seniors and they couldn't choose. So but I was still like captain. So it kind of sucks that like we didn't even have our first game. We had 2 practices. So
yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where like I think the easy response, similar to me being like, oh, proms, whatever, like you're not missing out. The easy response is be like, well, there's nothing we can do about it. There's nothing we can do, like whatever, like, you know, people are dying, or like people have it worse. And like, you know, something my dad's always said to me is like, if the worst thing that's ever happened to you is a paper cut, like it's still the worst thing that's ever happened to you. Like I personally hate when people are like, people have it worse, like people are dying. Like, yes, this is a very serious disease, and like, yes, people are dying from it, and yes, there are going to be major like economic implications of it, and there's major stressors. But like, I think that that just because those are true doesn't mean that like you missing out on all these things that you've planned for isn't also hard and terrible, and like you don't deserve that. And like bad things happen all the time, and I think like you'll learn a great lesson from this, like of like how to be resilient. And I think you're already a very resilient person, like I've seen it in the gym, like, but it's still like it sucks. And like I feel like we like, you know, part of why I want to talk about this is like to recognize, like to you, it's like this is unfortunate, like this is a, you know, bummer of a situation. Like you deserve to have all those things that you like work towards, and like, you know, it's unfortunate. And like there isn't anything that any of us can do about this except for like do our best to actually do social distancing so this is over as soon as possible. But like that sucks. And like you worked really hard for all those things, and like they were just taken away from you overnight.
I kind of took the stance of like it could be so much worse when I first heard about it, and like before I even was like this sucks for me, like I was putting the weight of the world on my shoulders, and I was like it could be worse. Like your generation it's up to you guys to fix it. And like I don't know, I was like not blaming myself, but I was like putting everything on myself and like us as a generation. And I kind of had to stop doing that. My mom kind of talked me out of it, and I was just like, okay, I need to calm down. I need to focus on me because I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah. And that's like, and I've been trying to like share, and I have something I'm going to post on the Beast account later today, like a lot of stuff like that. Cause like full disclosure, like I was having a really hard time with this, like early in the week. Like I fully Monday night, like started like hyperventilating about it. Like I was like, gonna be over. Like I was like, and what my whole spiral was like, oh my God, what if I like am working out in the garage and I fall and I like break my leg and I can't go to the hospital because the hospital's over. Like I was like, oh my God, like we're just like, and I just lost it. And like, really was freaking out. And like luckily like I talked to my mom too, and she was very good of like, what are things that like I can control, like what are things that we can control in this situation. And like I think that's all that anyone can focus on. And that's what I've been, like I said, trying to remind you guys of on like Instagram, and like when I've seen you on Zoom, of like we can control like staying inside as much as, or not inside, but like staying to ourselves. Like I hate when people are like stay inside. Like we can all still go outside and go on walks and like be outside, but like not in public places.
Oh, I saw a lot of people yesterday going on walks and holding hands and like walking next to other people, and I was like, dude, come on. Like I was sitting on a bench with my friend and he was 3 feet away, and we were just sitting there. And
maybe if they're holding hands, maybe they live together. Like I kind of feel like, I mean the rules don't really,
but then they would like run to other people. I don't know, it was people that should not be standing together.
But like we can control like doing our best at social distancing, right? Like we can control like, you know, doing our workouts still, and they're maybe not the same as if we were in the gym. Like we can control, you know, to what extent we look at the news and like social media. Like I am like done. I don't look at the news. Like
I had to stop.
Like banking on at this point. I'm like, if there's a major thing, like my parents are still watching the news, like they will tell me. Like every time I saw like a headline pop up on like the news alerts on my phone or was on Instagram and like seeing like people talking about like, you know, the number of cases, whatever, like I was freaking out. So like those are things that we can control, is like, but
I had to stop.
Like I just feel like the important thing to like remember is like basically like whatever feelings that any of us are having about this are like real and valid feelings. And like, you know, it, like you said, it's like it's really easy to get caught up in like, oh, this is worse for other people, but like that doesn't make what you're feeling any less
Yeah.
about.
Yeah. And I don't want to complain about like this having like this sucking for me, because I know a lot of other people are feeling the same thing as me, but like I can only focus on myself. Like
Exactly. And I
or
wouldn't
else,
think of it as complaining. Like I would try to think of it as just like sharing your feelings. Like, and you know, like that's, I don't know. Like I just don't think it's complaining to share how you're feeling about it, because just because other people are feeling the same way, like doesn't mean that way your feelings any less valid. It just is having the right outlet for sharing those. And like this can be one of them. I can be one of them. Like we can talk anytime. Like, but I think that a lot of people are what am I trying to say? I think if you were like, you know, going on your like Instagram live or like on like TikTok or Snapchat, I don't know what you guys do, and like, you know, just like screaming into your phone, like, this is terrible, all this stuff is canceled. Like, that's not a constructive outlet. But like talking to friends or like parents or coaches or whoever about like how you're feeling is like, it's not complaining. It just is like processing. So,
yeah. And my parents were kind of just like, oh, well, you can't do anything about it. And I was like, yeah, that's true, but I'm allowed to like mourn the loss of my senior year.
Exactly. Yeah. You can't do anything about it. And I think they're like, that's valid. And I know what they're trying to say there. You know, it's like, there is something to be said of like recognizing like, okay, we can't control this literally global issue, but like, yeah, I know I can't do anything about it, but like kind of thinking like, what are things I can control, or what are things I can still have? And like something that like, maybe not yet, but maybe in a couple weeks when we know, like, I think that like something I want to do is like at Beasts, like basically do like a graduation party or like event for you seniors and stuff. And like I would love like your help planning that, Julia. Like,
yeah, that'd be cute.
You know, figure out what you guys want. Like when we can get back into the gym, like doing something. Like I feel like, you know, you guys might not get to have your graduation or prom or all these other moments, but once we know like things are safe, we can go back out in the world and be in public spaces. I think there's a lot of ways that we can still find things to like celebrate and like do and like have other cool things that like maybe we otherwise wouldn't do.
Yeah, like a graduation party and like or a going away party.
Exactly.
What is it, like me, Soph, and Carter?
Yeah. But just for everyone, like that's like, like it's like everyone can come. Like, you know, it'll just be like a fun little thing in that sense. But Anna, what about you? So your like rowing season is kind of
it's done. I mean, I don't want to say that, but
the whole thing. Or
so
what do you have so far canceled? Just 2 weeks?
They do whatever Anne Arundel County Public Schools does. So right now it's 2 weeks, but I mean, I don't mean to be like grim or anything, but I feel like it's done. Just because. But so I was like, going back to earlier what I said about like everything going from 0 to 100. I think so I started practice on Monday, and I was like so excited because I feel like I've been working super hard at Beasts.
You have.
I was so excited to like watch it pay off, or like I was like ready. And on Monday we were just like rigging the boats, and like we didn't like work out or anything. And then Tuesday we did this like running workout, and I was like so proud of myself because I could never run that far or for that long before. And I don't even remember what we had to do. It was just like running for like a straight hour, and I was like so proud of myself because I was like, wow, I can like actually like I saw the improvement from the Beast. I was like, I was shocked. Yeah. And so I was like, I don't know, I just kept getting more excited. And then on Wednesday, they were like talking about like, they're like, yeah, like if something happens to get canceled for a couple of days, like we have to cancel with Anne Arundel County Public Schools, but like we'll be fine. And then a lot of the people on my team go to Severn and Spalding. And on Wednesday, I think that's when they canceled like Spalding for like 3 days or something. So we were all kind of like, oh, like no one was really expecting that, but it's just a few days. And then on Thursday when they canceled school, I was kind of like, I forgot that it had affected rowing too. And so I was like, okay, I'll just go to the gym. I'll go to CrossFit for 2 weeks. Everything will be okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, shoot. And then, you know, I just feel like everything just like overnight kind of got taken. This sounds like selfish, but like got taken away from me. And I'm sure everybody else, it feels like everything just like changed so fast. And I was crushed because I've been looking forward to like a spring season since fall season ended. And I just feel like all my hard work is kind of for nothing now. And yeah.
Oh, it's not. Yeah. I mean, of course, like my first reaction would be like, it's not for nothing, but like, I would feel like that too. Like, to be honest, like I would feel like, okay, like all of this, and I don't even get to. I mean, I kind of like I was supposed to run like a half marathon like next weekend that I've been running for or training for, and it got canceled. And like I was like, okay, cool. Like all of that was for a waste. So like I totally get how you feel, and like, but I think it's important to try to remember it's like you still got stronger. Like you still learned a lot of lessons. Like you still both physically and like mentally like learned and gained and grew so much like through the winter that like those lessons like will carry over to when you eventually, you know, get to be back on the water. And like even if you that's like not for a while, it's like those I don't know, like I mean, you got like a handstand this winter. Like that's a really big you were so like apprehensive about it and like that's a huge win, like regardless of whatever happens with your rowing season. Like that was such I mean, that was my I'm not like not speaking about me, but like that was the day when you got that handstand, like when I like cued you into it with my like platform 9 3 difference and you got it and you were so happy. That was like the honestly the first day where I was like, I can do this. Like I was like, I can like actually coach and like this is great. And like so like thank you for that. Like I'm like you know, I think it just kind of is shifting that mindset away from like which is hard. Like I'm not trying to say it's easy, but like it's not all for nothing. Like there's still little wins in there and big wins and still skills and things you gained and learned and like maybe you're not getting to apply them in the way that you thought or hoped, but like there's other ways.
You can like relate to this for sailing, but like I was just so excited to get on the water. I was so excited to get on the water, and I like we never got to because they took like 2 boats out. I think the first week, and I wasn't on them because they were just taking like varsity out. But I was just so excited to like get back on the water, and we did like land workouts, and we were on the ergs and stuff, but you know it wasn't the same. And they were like Monday we'll be on the water, and then you know. But the good news about it is that this goes to like we have the boats out until next November, so we do summer practices and stuff, but it's still not a season. So.
Yeah. So you don't have any regattas in the summer. It's just the spring.
No, it's just practice. But like the spring, so fall we do 5Ks, and I did my first season was a fall season, and then everyone just like kept telling me how much fun the spring season is because it's 2Ks, and the regattas are like farther away, and it's just more fun. And we had a gala in May and all this stuff, and it just like got canceled. It was just so weird. I just like Julia said earlier that like you don't think it's gonna affect you and like kind of until it does. So
yeah, I mean I even think about like in January when it all kind of was starting like in China and everything, and at Beast we were talking about it and we were like, oh, like it's fine. Like I just feel like everyone's mentality was kind of like it'll be okay. Like it won't be a big deal. Like even like a week ago, I was like, we're not gonna like shut down. Like we're not gonna close the gym, and then we did. Like so.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I like when I saw that Eric and Jack that video. I was like, I was surprised. Now I wouldn't be surprised, but like I think it was what was it Saturday or Friday when
like
he did
Saturday.
that?
Yeah.
I
Saturday
was
night,
like,
yeah.
I was like, oh, I was like, that was like kind of like the one thing I had to like keep me going. And then I was like, and I saw that they were going to do Zoom classes, but like in that moment I was just really disappointed, and I knew it was for the best because on Monday they ended up closing down all the gyms anyway, so it would have been. But I was like, I was very disappointed. I was like,
it came as like such a not a shock to me because I wasn't shocked, but like my heart dropped when I saw that. And I not that it's like it's fine, but like
I get it. Like
I was like, at least I have the like to structure my day. I can go to CrossFit, and then it closed, and I was like, oh my god, this is real.
Yeah. So, like, I mean, I felt the same way. Like when because they texted coaches and stuff a little bit before. I mean, they made the decision themselves and they texted us, and I was like, whoa. Like I remember being like, okay, this is like getting kind of real. Like, and then I feel like everything just kind of escalated from there. But no, I mean, it's definitely for the best. Obviously, you know, gym's closed
of course
Monday night anyway, and like I think that they made the right decision at the right time too to kind of give everyone the weekend to like process it before classes started Monday.
And you were very anxious about like getting sick. So,
me? Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so it is definitely for the best.
And it like
that if even that alone.
It feels better that they made that decision themselves instead of like. I feel like it's better that they made it a couple days before, and like
yeah.
where like they stood by it.
Yeah.
instead of like them getting shut down. It just feels better in a way, because on Monday I was at work and I walked in and everyone was like by the bar watching TV, and I was like, they were like, it looked like a movie. They were all huddling around the Hogan announcement.
Yeah.
And they were like, yeah, all restaurants will shut down at 5. And I work at a restaurant, so I was like, oh, this is like, I was like ready to work. I was kind of ready to work over these 2 weeks. Like when school first started to close, I was like, I can work in the mornings now. But yeah, there was like, I think we had like 12 people come eat lunch that day. And it was so surreal. And like everyone was just kind of like freaking out because everyone was losing their main source of income. And I was like,
Yeah.
it could be a lot worse. So
Yeah, I feel like, that's great. Yeah, I think that it did escalate so quickly. And I do think that I agree that I'm pretty glad we made the decision before it was made for us. But no, I mean, yeah, it's funny that you said that. Like, I definitely was pretty nervous. I mean, I still am pretty nervous about getting sick. I just have like asthma and stuff, and both my parents are kind of more susceptible as well. So I get a little worried. But I'm also like, I don't know, I'm a little bit of a worrier in that sense too. But yeah, I feel like I don't know how long this is going to last, but I hope that the Zoom call workouts have kind of, I mean, for me, they've given a lot of structure to my day. Like, I don't have anything else I'm doing. Do you guys have like school work that you're doing from home?
They're not allowed to grade us in our county. They're not allowed to grade us on anything. So they can give us work, but like,
they're not allowed to grade anything because there are a lot of like low income kids who don't have access to technology and don't have access to the work, so they're not allowed to collect anything for grade. But like my teachers, I don't know about you, Anna, but my teachers are posting stuff.
Yeah.
Are you guys at the same school?
No.
Yeah. No? Just kidding. Okay.
I go to South Rivers.
Okay. And you're
go to Annapolis.
Okay, that's right.
Well, you're in IB, right, Julia?
Yeah. So sorry, keep going.
Well, I'm in like 5 AP classes, and I was freaking
yeah.
out about learning all the content before the tests. I mean, everything was just kind of up in the air, but I assumed there were still going to be tests. And yesterday, College Board said that they were just going to do 45-minute exams at home.
Whoa.
And that they were like going to like cut off. So like, for example, like for like one of my classes, like we're only doing unit 1 through 7 instead of unit 1 through 9. Like that's all it's going to be covered on the test. So I don't have to learn anything else now, which really helps. But
yeah. No, I'm in IB, so like it's a worldwide organization, and there are kids from almost every country in the world in the same program I'm in, which is like really cool to think like we're all connected in some way. But at the same time, like IB hasn't said anything. And they said they're going to come out with a statement on March 27th, but coincidentally, that's when I have a big assessment, like internal assessment. It's just an essay, but I have a big essay due that same day. So like, do I do it and then hope they're going to cancel tests? Because like there are kids in China that are in the same program I'm in. So like, I don't know why they haven't said anything yet, but crazy. And then like, yeah, they're just like kids all over, and I don't know whether I should do the essay or like not do it and then get late points if I still have to do it.
Just do it. Like that was kind of leading in my next question of like, are you guys like staying busy throughout the day? Like that's what I was gonna ask next. But I'd say like if you have time, like I would just do it. I know that's kind of like annoying advice, but that's my advice: is just do it because whatever.
Might
as well.
Go ahead.
My philosophy is more like just do it and get it over with, and that's like how I've led my entire year. So like I'm pretty good at just like, you have to do this before this time or else you're not going to do it, and you know that. So like I'm pretty good at knowing what I can do and scheduling myself and like time management, but during the day, like I have no motivation because I have nothing that's actually due. So like my math teacher's posting stuff, my history teacher's posting stuff, and I have to learn business for my business class, but like that's it. I don't have any other teachers posting anything besides my Italian teacher, but I haven't looked at that.
I'm kind of like in the opposite situation because I just feel like I'm a junior, so like it's still really like my SAT got canceled, my ACT got canceled. So I don't really know when that's going to happen. And I just like kind of went into this week with the mentality of like nothing matters in a way, which is really bad. But I was like, it just feels like nothing matters, and I shouldn't even like try to do schoolwork because like when it like because Kansas, like they're not going back to school ever. They're not going back until September. The California governor said that that's probably going to happen in California too. So I was just kind of like, what's the point of doing work if we're not ever going to be back in school? But like, I honestly don't have anything better to do. So,
Do you think it'll hurt your chances of getting into college?
there was like, I read like a couple stuff like saying that like schools next year like might not look or like take in consideration what happened this year about SAT and ACT. But I was like, I've never taken either of them, so I don't have scores for either of them. And I guess I have to take them in the summer maybe or next year, but I just have to start applying to colleges in the fall. So I guess, I mean, I'm sure there are a ton of people in the same boat, but.
Yeah. I think it'll be interesting to see. And I thought that when they first canceled, I was like, how are they gonna like handle this with everyone? Like, people are gonna have to like repeat grades? Like, everyone just gets to move on? Like, I don't.
It's weird. It's
what
so weird.
happens, but I think with colleges, I think they're gonna have to be understanding. And also in general, a lot of colleges are moving away from SAT and
That's true.
ACT scores anyway. So I feel like maybe this will just be the push that makes them not mandatory
Yeah.
everywhere or most places. But yeah, I think overall it's going to change a lot of things. Probably actually definitely school next year will be different because of this, and I think that college applications will be different. And I'm sure even Julia, your freshman year next year will be different too because of this.
Yeah.
Like, because there'll be kids at school that didn't get to finish classwork this spring or whatever. So
Yeah,
Did you guys
next
see
year's gonna be.
it's like an Instagram, I've seen on like Instagram stories, it was talking about how like how clean like Italy's canals and stuff are, and how like,
Yeah.
I mean, I guess like if you look at silver linings, and that's one of them, because like people are staying inside so the pollution is getting better. I don't know, I'm just trying to like think of positive things.
Climate change is so much better, like that because there's just people are not driving around as much, like that's benefiting people. I've been trying to think of like my positives. I think the other positive is like generally, at least like I think in our society, but in our like community too, directly, I feel like there's so much of like, and I'm definitely bad at this, of like go 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 mentality, and very like always be accomplishing things and like always be working towards the next thing. And like I am terrible at resting. Like like my whole life, like I'm just awful at like doing nothing or like sitting down and reading for fun or like just taking a nap. Like I've never been good at that. So like I've been trying to focus on like just a good like forced rest on all of us. And like I think in general, like we can all take a moment to like slow down, like be doing less, like just take some time. And like, I think that I saw something on Instagram or something where it was like, this is like Mother Nature telling us all to like go sit and time out for a little bit. And like, maybe it is like, maybe this is just like, there's a lot of things that are like on pause, like, things happening like war wise in the world are like paused and halted, like major, like, politically, like this has kind of become a little bit more bipartisan efforts to like make this coronavirus situation end quicker. Like kind of like a lot of the major issues in the world like are kind of getting a chance to kind of hit pause and reset because everyone's focusing on this. So like maybe at the end of it we'll all be better off. I don't know. Like
Probably. I like the mindset that like everything happens for a reason.
Yeah,
and
me too.
it's hard to keep that in mind while all of this is happening, because I'm like,
right,
why is it happening to me? Like I thought everything was going so well. But I saw something I saw something on Instagram that really resonated with me. It says, with this open time, you do not have to write the next best-selling novel. You do not have to get in the best shape of your life. You do not have to start that podcast. What you can do instead is observe this pause as an opportunity. And it kept going, but that really resonated with me.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've been going to CrossFit every day, but that's just for structure for me. But it can be interpreted as like me trying to get in the best shape of my life. And like, I don't know, I liked it a lot.
But you don't have to. And like I've been thinking that too. Like I keep being like, I need to be more productive. I could be doing all of this stuff. And it's like, I don't have to. like it'll come. I'm sure like after by the end of next week I'll like be like, okay, like I want to cross those things off my list. But like for now I'm just trying to chill and like process everything and just like do what I can. But will you send that to me? I'll post it on the Beast. I think that's like a cool thing. That was reminding me of, I don't know, go ahead, Anna. There's something
I feel like the first week was just like for me taking time to process everything and like not really getting much done because it's just like
it's a lot to process. It's a big thing. Yeah.
What are you guys like doing at home to like, are you reading or watching anything or?
I've been reading a lot. I've been trying to not watch TV until after dinner. I'll challenge you guys to that for this week. It's been good. Like I think it is making me not just like zone out. So but
yeah, I've been painting a lot because I like my junior year I took AP art and I did a lot of painting and like a lot of art and I got really good at it in my opinion. So like I've kind of tried to get back into that because I haven't painted since last May. So I've been doing a lot of that. I've been doing some work, some sitting on my phone because like I don't know what else to do. And then I've been going to CrossFit. And then after I do that, I kind of go home, shower, eat, and then relax like without anything. So it's kind of been structured, which is nice. But yeah, I haven't really watched any TV necessarily. But
cool. So we were kind of talking about silver linings there. So I'm going to try to kind of wrap it up because we've been talking for like an hour. But so I don't know. Have you guys listened to the podcast before? I think Anna, you have. No?
Yeah,
I listened to maybe one.
You wanted to be on the podcast so badly and you don't even listen to it, Anna.
I'll listen to it once I'm on it.
Oh my gosh. All right. You got to go back and that's what you guys can do this week. You can go back and listen to all of them. But
the thing I just said you don't have to start that podcast. So I'm just saying.
I interpreted that as you don't have to start like your recording of a podcast. You don't have to produce a podcast during this time. You can listen. It's no different than like reading. I'm kidding. Kids don't have to. You can just listen to my episodes. Kidding. So at the end of each episode, Eric and Jack do a gratitude of the week. So they started it with one of their favorite podcasts. Does their like pet peeve of the week at the end, but in typical Fairwinds fashion, we wanted to be a little bit more positive at the end. So they share like their gratitude, and it can be small or it can be big. It can be a person, it can be a thing, it can be whatever. So do either of you have anything that's like jumping out? Yeah.
My gratitude is that my friend has been here like all week, and she like is really like, we're just like, I feel like we're busy, but we're not busy because we're just doing stuff at home. But we've gone to we've just drove around sometimes and like drove around neighborhoods and stuff. So I'm grateful for my friend Marina.
Nice. Cool.
I'm grateful for the idea, I guess, that like once this is over, all of our phones are going to take a back seat and we're all going to like appreciate being together.
Yeah.
So I think that's important.
Now I'm going to read you something from Instagram. I saw this thing yesterday that's like my new favorite thing. I need to find it.
Like we really didn't think this would happen. Like isolation would be something that we're almost forced into. But
I saw something was like, it was like a high five is going to be more valued than like a text message or something like that. Yeah.
So I'm kind of grateful for the fact that that's going to happen and we're all going to like value being together much more than before.
I saw this thing also on Instagram that was like, one day this is going to be over. Can you imagine that day? How we'll come out into the sun and laugh and hug and sing and dance and hold hands. I'm living for that day. It'll be nothing we've experienced before, which is like so true. Like, can you just imagine like the day that we're all cleared to like do a normal activity? Like everyone is just going to be like, so I think we're going to appreciate everything even more. And like, even bringing it back to the gym, like we're going to be so happy and like excited.
So excited to go back to the gym. I'm so jealous of Eric that he gets to be there.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he doesn't really have space to run classes at home. Okay, my gratitude is cheesy, but it's like you guys and the Beasts. I mean, I think that a lot in my, even before all this, like you guys are like the highlight of my day and my week when I see you guys. But especially with this, like, and just having the connection and the ability to still talk to you guys and for the Zoom classes and even this today of like, and just gaining like your perspective. Like, I think you guys are all like very smart, well-adjusted, like resilient kids. Like, I think you're handling this really well, and it kind of is very grounding for me because, you know, like I said at the beginning, like there's been things that are canceled for me, but I'm not at like a point in life where like major events or major landmark things are really happening for me. Like the worst part about this for me is that like the gym is canceled and like work and coaching is canceled. And like I really appreciate you guys because it is making me kind of realize like how, I don't know, just putting it in perspective to experience it, experience this through your eyes, like secondhand. So I appreciate that. And I'm really grateful that you guys wanted to come on and talk about it today. And you guys are really open and honest and vulnerable. And it was a great time. I think we should do it again. We should just make this a thing.
Well, thank you for having us on.
Yeah, thank you so much, Ellie.
Of course. It just said you don't have to start that podcast. But I'm like, we should start like a sub like beat podcast. That's like just
Yeah, we should.
talking to you guys. But we could just make it like a mini series through this and like rotate through whoever wants to be on it.
No, that'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's good. I think it's also good to get the like, both for me and for you guys, like the connection of like talking to other people for like an hour and just chatting, because like
Yeah.
I think a lot of us are not really talking to as many people as we normally do right now. So cool. All right, ladies. I guess I'll see you Monday.
Yeah.
All
Off
right.
the creek. That's what we're saying now. So,
See
all right,
you
I'm
then.
gonna see you then.